You guys, we are in the midst of a Airbnb catastrophe.
At the end of 2023, we traveled to Nairobi, Kenya to meet up with our family from the other side of the world in order to spend the holiday together. The big themes of this trip, safaris and scams. Traveling to the continent of Africa has its own challenges and opportunities. We were both fortunate and unfortunate to experience both simultaneously.
What happened to Coco?
She pursued her back. She pushed out of her house after this.
What happened? Why did they chase her out?
Airbnb catastrophe. Nightmare, worst nightmare. This shouldn't even be real. I'm sure we'll do a separate thing to explain, but we're currently packing up. We weren't supposed to leave for 2 days. Long story short, they double booked. They wanted us to get out. We said no, because we have it for 2 more days and they shut off our water. I'm not making it up. So we're packing. And we've been on the phone with people for 4 hours. And we even tracked down the guy who actually physically shut off our water because I saw him do it. And he just came and was like, oh, maintenance. If I've ever seen a lie in my life. But it's a long story. Starting with Supreme. Ending with shut off water. The moral of my story, if you're coming to Kenya, probably, well, let's just stick with that. Save yourself a headache and just stay in a hotel. You may think, oh, it might be nice to be in an Airbnb. No. You know, we started off this trip staying with a friend who was in a very nice Airbnb. And I had hope after Supreme. I no longer have hope. My hope was shut off with that water. Off. Forever. Like the water. So the trend of this stay, and what I feel like the trend of all of this is that people come to Nairobi, they buy a property, say they're gonna rent it as an Airbnb, great. Now I'm gonna move abroad. I'm gonna hire a middleman. Middleman, don't forget that word, middleman. That middleman's gonna hire another middleman who's probably gonna hire another middleman. So you're now dealing with the actual owner of the Airbnb plus 3 or 4 middlemen. Nobody seems to have each other's number. Nobody actually seems to know who each other is. Yeah, that's the moral of the story. Stay away from the middleman, aka the Airbnb. Other thing to keep in mind, even not just Airbnbs, but mostly anything here, just so you know, practice your patience, okay? But don't practice it too much because it's gonna hurt you. But practice, you need to practice before you come. The patience, it's a, and you'll laugh at me and go, ha ha ha, yeah, practice your patience. It'll come and be like, oh, yeah, patience.
Okay, where do we begin? First off, Mad Trisha came out in this video. It was happening very much in the moment, but you know, I love her, so it was making it all quite dramatic, but we're here to tell full story because it's a long story.
Okay, I would go through it as fast as I
Yeah.
can. So we arrived in Nairobi. We had family there, so we booked an Airbnb for 8 nights, 6 nights, something like that. So we had the family on the check-in day go check in for us, and on arrival, the lockbox wasn't working. So they went to the room or the apartment that was supposed to be ours and knocked. And this guy opens up and he's like, I've been living here for 6 months.
This was supreme that
Right,
I was
this was
talking about in
supreme.
the video. This
So obviously
is
we
supreme.
contact Airbnb, we cancel the reservation. They give us a little bit of a coupon so we can book something last minute, and we did. We booked another stay. But before we started the stay, we and Jonix and one of our friends that lives out there, we went there earlier just to make sure
Because
this
we
was a real
learned.
place. We learned our
Yeah.
lesson. So when we got there, turns out this the person could not find the place. So we spoke to the security guard and we're like, oh, we're going into apartment A14. And it was like, that's impossible. A family lives there. And we're like, what? So we called the lady.
At this point, we probably should have left,
Right.
but
We
were
called the
persistent.
lady that called another lady that called the guy, and the guy shows up.
These are all the
And
middlemen.
the guy, right, all the middlemen,
Yeah.
the guy was waiting for the real owner of the place to give him the actual unit number. I think how it works is that people have different listings of the same apartments on Airbnb, and when you book it, they would, if theirs is full, they will give it to a friend who may sell it to another friend, who may sell it to another friend. So when you get there, you will not get the exact thing you booked. Just so you know, probably not get the exact thing you
Like
booked.
even if you looked on Airbnb, there would be multiple listings with the exact
same
same
pictures.
photos. And you're like,
And after we canceled the first one, we looked on Airbnb and that listing was still up. So
wasn't real.
that tells you. So the guy finds the apartment finally. We go up there. Of course, it's different, but we're like, whatever, we're tired. Tell me why this was a brand new apartment. No one has ever stayed there. Unfinished. So we opened up the fridge and the freezer. The bed still had like the leather on the nylon, the plastic on it.
On the mattress.
We had to unwrap all of that, unwrap the chairs, whole ordeal. But we're like, whatever, we'll get it done. And we did. We had 2 good nights there.
It's good, actually.
And then on the third night, in the afternoon, the housekeeper comes asking to clean the place. And we're like, you know what, just go back a little bit later. And then she comes back later and to clean the place. And we're like, just forget about it today. We should be fine. And then she's like, no, I have to clean the place for the new people. When are you leaving? And we're like, we don't leave for 2 days. So she was like, okay, I'll call the guy that sent me. So she calls the guy and he comes. I think it's just a big misunderstanding. He has the wrong
Another
unit.
middleman.
Someone we have not seen before. And he comes and he's like, yeah, you guys have to leave. And we're like, no, we're not leaving. And we're like, we have 2 more nights. And he's like, nope, you have to leave. This place has been booked for someone else. And apparently they got the unit with the intention of letting us just stay 2 nights from the owner. This is all in retrospect, we find out this, but we didn't know any of this. Anyways, long story short, Trisha looked through the peephole.
I heard a noise, looked out the peephole, saw this same guy that 30 minutes prior told us to get out, go into the utility box outside of our thing and turn a knob. And then all of a sudden, no water.
So they shut off our water for 4 to 6 hours in an effort to push us out. And at that point, we realized we probably should leave anyways.
Like it was just like us, we don't do drama. Like the only drama I do is reality TV. And that just was like level 75, 80, 90 to me. And I was like, I'm getting,
Okay.
all of us kind of felt like
Right.
that. Yeah.
Anyways, we booked a hotel, and that's where we stayed the rest of our stay. But it turns out it was a terrible deal and then the excuse they had was that there was maintenance and when the water pipe broke on that side of the building, which is a transparent lie.
Which you're like, so the guy that told us to get out, then 30 minutes later goes and shuts off our water. And my sister-in-law and I went and found him, and he was like, yes, I was the one that shut it off. And we're like, why? And all he said was, I'm just doing what I'm told. Wasn't maintenance.
So those same people, of course, just a weird situation. So we left.
Weird.
And you think contacting Airbnb will get you back your money? It takes a little bit more than that. So that was a multi-day effort to get back most of our money, which we did. But in that process, it kind of sucked for the person that we booked from because now they get the money called back and then they get a bad review. Which of course we left to one other people because she sold the listing to a friend that sold it to someone else that gave it to a lady named Stella. so many people in between, and it's impossible to know what goes where. So that's kind of how it ended, and she left me a lengthy WhatsApp message about why are you trying to do this? I'm like, lady, have better friends. So
like there was 8 of us,
right.
1 baby. Like it was actually
it was a house,
and it was like the day we were trying to celebrate Christmas.
Right.
Very rude.
Pain in the butt to move around, but we got it done.
But we don't want this video to be like all Kenya experience was bad.
Right.
The trip wasn't uphill after this.
Yes, we stayed at the DoubleTree in Hurlingham. Had an fantastic experience.
We had a great time. We had lots of good food. We had a great New Year's Eve experience at the club for like 30 minutes. And we went to some good restaurants.
Yeah.
Good pools at the hotel. It was, and just like good quality time together. So we want to end this by saying thanks, Kenya. We had a great time. Maybe we'll be back someday.
Get a hotel.
But get a hotel. And when we come back, we will be getting a hotel. So cheers to that.
Yep.